Hello again. So, um, in the previous two videos, we saw. In the first video, we saw how to install Django, how to create a Django project, how to create an app, and how to create a very simple view. Okay. In the second video, we saw that a project can have more than just one app. Okay, we can have two, three, or whatever. Um, also, we saw that the urls.py of our application is um, is not mandatory. We don't need to create these urls.py in each app, because it is possible to go to the urls.py of our project and configure the path for our views. Also, we saw that it is not very it is not recommended, because we can easily fall into a problem, for example, having two or more apps with views that have the same name. Okay, so if you have two or three apps with the let's say with a view with the name index, Django will choose the first one that he finds. Okay, so the other two will be ignored, and we can fall easily by trying to debug and what is happening, and we don't know what is happening, and the source of the problem can be this: having everything configured in the urls.py of our project. Okay, so it is very recommended, if especially if your project grows, to have urls.py in each app, because you can actually separate the stuff, organize everything. Okay, about this video. Oh, and also I don't have here. I have here in the cars, in the app cars, we saw how to pass parameters from the URL. Okay, so going to this specific video, what we will do here, we will explore a little bit more about views. We will not go too much far, okay, just to explore. So with these, sorry, let me run the project, the app. So for that, manage pi and run our server. So it enter, and it will do is magic. And if we go here to the browser, we have this hello world. Okay, let me put this in the normal size and go here. So this view is just returning hello world. Let's say that, for example, you want to return a JSON. A JSON is very useful for Ajax requests. So let me copy this, paste here. Let's call this index2, and it will return a JSON response. And of course, we need to import here a JSON response. We will return a dictionary. Let's say ABC, ABC and 1, 2, 3. Okay, having these, we need to configure the URLs, the new path. Let me go here to the urls.py of our application, and let me put here a comma, because we will have two. Okay, and copy this, paste here. This name is very important, but for this case, for this scenario, we don't need this name. Okay, so I just delete. Okay, and this is the view 2, and let's say that the user must type in the URL index 2. Okay, so if we have these, we go to the browser and we change here index 2, hit enter, and now we have here our JSON response. Okay, this is very useful for Ajax requests, but we will explore these in further videos. Okay, what more? Also, let me copy these and let's create index 2. Okay, and so we are just returning a string. Okay, let's say that we want to build HTML. Let's say, let me clear this and let's put here a multi-line string, and let's say that we want to have a HTML file and close HTML, and the HTML have add. Let's close the add. Oops. Let's close the add. Let it as a body, of course, and close the body. And the add have a title. Let's say title, close, and my super is just 1p, I think. Super website, my super website, and let's say that it has here like a h1, so we can see h1 and my site, just my site and also we can have UL unordered list, close the unordered list, and the list item. The first list item will be text 1, and then we have text 2, and then we have text 3. And also let's say that the text 1 have a color, so style is equals to color red. Okay, if we have this response like this, and of course I must rename this to index 3, and here in the URLs we can copy this, paste here, and we have the URLs, let's call these new new view, bold new view. Remember here the path is case sensitive. If we write new view in lowercase, it doesn't match. Okay, new view is pointing to the view index 3. Okay, let's go here and let's say, let me show you new view in lowercase, and we have a page not found. Okay, so we have here a new view in uppercase, and we get these. Okay, we have here our super website. Okay, super website here in the title. So we saw this part. Also what we can do with these. Oh, I just get in a second there. For example, we can just to remember, we can receive here, for example, a age. Okay, and for that we must go here and say that after these we put a slash, and we have an integer that is the age. Okay, and going back to the views, let's say that this is f string, a format string. Okay, and for example here in the text 2, instead of text 2 we have age. Okay, we can have this. If we go, let him finish reloading. If you go here, we put a slash and 23, for example, and now we have here age 23. Okay. Oh, query string. We can, for example, a query string is when we put here a question mark, okay, and for example, name is equals to Hugo Ferro. This is a query string, okay, and for Django to get this parameter, we must go here and say name is equals to request dot get in uppercase and then dot get in lowercase, and we want what? We want the name. We want the name. If the user doesn't put a query string with a parameter name, the default value of the variable name will be John Doe. Okay, and let's copy these and put here name. Okay, and name, his name. So if we go back here and we hit enter, we get name Ukferu. Let me remove the query string, and now we have here the John Doe. Why? Because we set here the second parameter. Okay, this is the default value if the user doesn't insert a name. Let's say for example a color. Let's add another parameter, a color that is equals to, let me copy this and paste here. Let's say that the default value for color is red, and it will search for a color, and this color will go here to the style of our first line. Okay, so we have here a color. Yes, so we go here and we hit enter. Nothing happens because I didn't change a thing, of course, and we say color, okay, is equals to green, for example, and now we have the text green. And also, if we want a second parameter, we put a I don't know the name of these in English, sorry. We put a and, okay, it must be and, I guess, and name, and for example Peter Anderson, and now we have here this age 23 and the name Peter Anderson. Something else that I wanted to recall here. Oh, this guy, the request. I saw a tutorial from another person, and the person was calling this guy response like this, and everything was working, of course. Why? Because, well, Python is a very dynamic language. Okay, it's not so dynamic comparing with JavaScript. JavaScript is even more dynamic than Python, but is very dynamic, and they allow us to change the name here of this variable. And for example, I can call this dog, for example, and let me change here. And if we save and let it reload, if we save and for example just to show that this is working, if we do this, it's working. Okay, so for Python the name doesn't is not important, okay? The name is not important. We can name it whatever we want. But for us humans, the guys that are doing the code, I think it's important for us to be to do the things right, okay? And this is the first parameter of our views is not the response, is the request. Why? And I can show you why. We go here to the browser. I am using Chrome, okay? And for example, more tools, developer tools, okay? In the developer tools, let me show here, we are in the network tab. Let me hit enter, and something is happening here. We have these, okay? We have these. This is the response, and where is the request? We have here the request, okay? The request is the method of the request is a get, okay? And then we have a response is a separated thing. A response and the request is two different things. The request is like, let's say that it is like a bag, okay, where the browser gets all the useful information to send to the server, okay? So the request is like a bag with useful information. For example, these variables, okay? These variables goes in the request. We have here the request URL, okay? The response is another bag, but is in the server side. So we receive a request here, and then we have a response. That's why this type is called HTTP response, okay? You see the same pattern here, JSON response, okay? So a request is what we send from our web browser to the server, and here is the server. The response is what we send from the server to the web browser, okay? So do not confuse that stuff. It is very important. So I think I showed you the most important things here. What you learn here, you learn that we can actually return HTML from the view, okay? But as I think you already noticed, this is not very. If you have a very big web page, I think this is not very cool, having everything here written in our Python file. So in the next video we will see another thing. This is the view, and the next thing that we will see is the template, okay? So having nothing more to say in this video, I hope that you learned something here, and leave a like, subscribe, and share with your friends, okay? And we see in the next video, okay? So bye.